Well, hey guys, keeping warm by a nice fire. Really hot fire, actually. So, it's been quite a few months since my race has happened. My first 100K, which, well, it was quite an event. I've been holding off on posting an update or making a final video from my vlogging journey that I started back in July 2021. And I waited because I felt like I wanted this epic video and this amazing resolution to the story of my first race. And the reality of it is, I built it up in my head and I just wasn't able to follow through. But I had an extraordinary experience running Uwharrie Forest in Troy, North Carolina, and it's the longest I've ever gone before, so that's an amazing feat. It was an amazing day. It was absolutely amazing. There was a lot of obstacles when I first got started. For example, the week of my race, I dropped a door on my toe. I was installing a shed door and it slipped and fell right on top of my big toe. And it wasn't detrimental, but it was not the best scenario coming up on a long race. The second hurdle or obstacle that I was facing is I came down with a really bad cold. I doubt it was corona. The second hurdle that I was facing was that I came down with a really bad cold. I was sick coming up into the race. I got ill the race happened on Saturday and I got ill on a Wednesday. My chest was congested, my nose was stopped up, I had a lot of mucus, and that was disappointing. And I was so resolved to not let anything stop me, and so I wasn't gonna stop. I was gonna proceed forward, and so I did. I got to the event, and I bought some, on the way there I stopped at a Food Lion and bought some like chest congestion medicine. That was a bad idea. I got there, I got my truck set up, I had my hammock strung out on my truck, and I had all my gear on my tailgate. I was in an amazing location right off the trailhead, and I was laid down in my hammock, and I was gonna take a nap, and I thought maybe I could just take a little medicine that I picked up. I hadn't taken it yet, so I was like, I'm gonna take a little bit of it and then nap. And I think the combination of the medicine and sleep is going to help me tremendously. Well, it didn't. The medicine elevated my heart rate, and for the next 3 or 4 hours my heart rate was in the 90s. It was uncomfortable. It was in the uncomfortable 90s. I think it raised up to 120, and then it dropped down to 118, 110, and then consistently stayed in the 90s for the next 3 hours. It was dark for the first hour, and it was beautiful. It was so gorgeous having the sunshine, having the sun rise on me as I'm out in the forest. I could see the light through the trees, and I was on my phone. I Marco Polo'd my family throughout the race, and lap 1 was 20.5 miles, and I finished lap 1. Really loving the greenery. Well, we started at 6 a.m. It's now 12 p.m. I finished my first lap. I've got 2 laps to go. I've gone 20.5 miles. I've got, I don't know, 41 to go. Hurry! And I finished lap 2, and I was halfway through lap 2 on mile, I wrote notes. It was mile 32.7 to be exact. My right hand started to feel tingly, and I thought, because my vest, I was thinking that my vest was pinching a nerve back here, my back, my shoulder blade, and it was causing my right hand to tingle a little bit. And so what I did was I tucked my hand into my vest and made sort of like a makeshift sling for it, and kept on running. I noticed as I kept on going, I would get to the really steep hills, and which, you know, the hills, they cause you to have to, there's a lot more exertion, and that would cause my hands to tingle even more. And it turned into not just my right hand, but my left hand. And so I would slow down, I would walk up the hills, and of course I kept on going, thinking it was just, you know, my shoulder blades are really tired. I finished lap 2. It was mile 41 was the end of lap 2, and I stopped off at my truck, and I had these amazing people, this crew that was crewing some other person. They were so helpful. I changed my socks and my shoes, and I put on, they bandaged me up where I didn't have any bandages for my feet. They bandaged me up, they helped me restock my vest and my supplies, rehydrate, and then they made sure that I had dinner. It was like 6 o'clock at the evening, and I feel super grateful for them. They sent me off with snacks from their own stock, and I went off on lap 3, the start of lap 3, and I had 20.5 miles to go to finish the race. And there was that first section, there's 6 miles to the next aid station, and as I was going, the sun was setting on me. It was the same path that I was at earlier that day where the sun was rising on me. And I was still enjoying myself. There was no sense of this is hard, I'm ready to give up. I had no sense of why did I sign up for this. I was fully present, fully out there, 100% thrilled with my day, with what I was doing, with where I was at. I had my good friend Sean Wajula. He's the one who actually inspired me to do the race in the first place. He was at that next aid station, and I was looking forward to seeing him. And as I was going, I had no second thought that I wasn't going to finish. Spoiler alert, I didn't finish. I would keep on going up the hills, and I started to have to really walk. I noticed my breath. I couldn't quite catch my breath. I had to breathe in really deep, and it didn't feel like I was getting a good breath. And it was not, it had fallen dark at this point, and I'm going up this long, steep hill. My watch had died at that point, and so I had no idea how much further I had to the next aid station. Apparently I was on mile 4. It was 4 miles into the 6 mile mark, which was mile 40, I think it was mile 45. I'm climbing up this hill, and I started to feel faint. And I turned around, and I saw lights behind me, and I hollered out, "Hey, how much further to the next aid?" Someone hollered out again, and they said, it should be about another, I think I'm right, it should be about another, they said it should be about another mile. Yeah, I think I was 5 miles into that 6 mile mark, and they said it should be about another mile. And then I just kept on walking, and they ended up catching up to me. And at that point, everything went black, and I started to do this, and I realized that I was about to faint. And so I turned around and I said, "Hey, I need help, I'm about to faint." And they stopped and they helped me, and at this point couldn't hardly catch my breath. Both arms were tingling. There's this tingle sensation in my hands, running up my limbs, my arms. And they stopped, and I was explaining to them what was happening, and I was like, I can't quite catch my breath. And so we stopped, and then this other person, there's like 2 other people came behind us, and they were like, "Y'all need help?" And so I told them, I'm having trouble catching my breath. And so they, I think it was a mile to the next aid station. They said that when they get there, they'll send back help. And so I was resolved to keep going. I was gonna just get to the next aid station and rest, recuperate. And we kept walking. They walked with me. He had some trekking poles, and he let me walk with his trekking poles for a while. And we walked about a mile, and I was constantly having to stop. I was not able to keep going. My arms would tingle, and I would feel short of breath. Couldn't catch my breath at all. And I struggled for that mile. And those 2 gentlemen, God bless them, they were amazing, and just stopping their own race, which they were running 100 miles. They still had a really long ways to go. They weren't even quite halfway there. But they stopped, and they took at least an hour just to help and walk with me. And I think I got super scared. And at that point, I realized, I think I'm not going to finish. The director ended up calling my cell phone and pinpointing my location, and we kept walking, and we walked to a service road, and a gentleman had run from the aid station to find me, and he went and grabbed a vehicle, and they vehicled me out on the service road. And at that point I was absolutely done. I was super cold, super shivering, and I think my body was going into shock. And I realized after the fact what had happened was I wasn't getting enough oxygen to my organs, and so my limbs started to go numb and my body started to shut down in order to preserve myself. And I didn't finish, and I feel a little disappointed. I feel disappointed, but I feel really proud. I went 46 miles out of the 62 mile race, and so that is something to be proud of, having gone that far. And so out of the entire race, my watch had died, so I don't know how much elevation I got really total, but from what I do have documented, I got about 9,300 feet in elevation gain. It was a lot of rolling hills, a lot of rocks, a lot of roots, constantly going up and down hills. It was unrelenting. It really was. And I feel a sense of accomplishment, but at the same time I didn't get a medal. I got nothing but the experience, and that is supremely valuable. But there's still this thought in the back of my head, what if I can do it? And then there's also this other thought of, what if that happens again and I'm on the other side of the course where there is no service road? And New Year's came, and I was I declared to the whole room that I was going to race Uwharrie 100 again, October 2022. And here I am, a week and a half after New Year's, and still kind of halfway thinking, like, I don't know. I don't have a full resolve yet. Just because the training, it was a hard thing. It was a hard ordeal. And my toe, after brutally being beat up, my toe is still healing. I think it's, they fall off. It just happens. And one injury wasn't much of an injury. Well, it was my leg, my left leg behind my knee swelled up. My toenails fell off, and I think at mile 46, my body went into shock. I have not seen a doctor. I build sheds. I do construction work for a living, and I immediately went back into really heavy manual labor, and been doing that ever since. I do have this slight thought, like, well, my toenail is healing, so I guess everything else is healing okay too. There is no long-term injury, and for that I am grateful. So that was my race, and this is my last update for Uwharrie 100K. Well, hey everybody, it's just wanted to check in before I lose cell phone service. It's 8 a.m. right now. I've been out here for 2 hours, and it's nice. It's really nice in the morning. Like, it's so fresh to be able to start at dark and then have the sun rise on you. You catch all the spider webs in the morning too, though. I think that was one. But Morgan, in all sincerity, I'd rather do what I'm doing now than go to medical school. For real. That's something else. That's a lot of dedication, and every bit of every character trait that you need to do what I'm doing, you need to do what you're doing. But I lack the certain passion for that, and so I'm sure you feel the same towards what I'm doing right now. So it evens out, you know. But I can't imagine doing medical school. That would be tough stuff for me. But I'll see you guys later. I'm just enjoying it. Well, I'll give you a little feature. So this is some of it. Just if you look on the ground, it's nothing but rocks and leaves and roots. And this isn't the worst of it. This is pretty flat. It's just gonna go up this really long steep hill. I think overall the total race is 18,000 elevation gain and change. So constantly up and down, up and down. 10, 14, 6 to 7, 8, 9, 10. Running for 4 hours now. See you guys. Well, I guess I'll just keep updating you. It's 12 o'clock, noon time. I just finished my first lap. Headed in for my second lap. And yeah, we'll see. Is it recording? Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm eating bananas. Yeah, it's 3:30 and I'm having a good day. Good day. Got a nosebleed. Blowing a snot boogie all day. It started bleeding on me. I'm okay though. I'm almost done with lap 2. I just had a very low point. I'm still kind of low. My arms are kind of feeling tingly. So I'm resting it right here. I don't know if it's a nerve, it's pinching, or if it's just because my legs are the ones that need all the oxygen. But I'm looking forward to a change of socks, wash my feet, wash my face, and 41 miles will be the longest I've ever gone, and I'm proud of that. So my mentality this far is just to see how much further I can go. That's it. So I'll check back in later. Keeping my spirits high though. Yeah. Every low point, you know that there's gonna be a high point. At least, that's my experience. So I'm just like, okay, this is low. I feel low. Don't worry, it's gonna get high again. It's okay. Just keep moving. Keep moving. Just walk if you have to. That's all it takes, is one step at a time. Just keep moving forward. It's almost nighttime, and I'm gonna have to get my headlamps when I get back to the truck. Well, I don't know if my messages are sending it. My phone's always saying reconnecting, but I thought I might give you guys another update. Maybe it'll load eventually. I don't want to overload you guys with just me. But I did want to send a quick update. Got finished to lap 2, started on lap 3. So my goal thus far
is just to make it to the next aid station. That's it. So I'll be running for the next 2 hours. I'd give it 2.5 because I'm gonna be walking. I got blisters on my feet, but going to the next aid station, and that's it. Check in later. It's getting dark.